Here is to explain the standard operating procedure in the simplest and the easiest way possible. Okay, so what's standard operating procedure? My standard operating procedure, the first step is to mark the daily and H4 levels, including engulfing. Say I consider engulfings to be SNR levels. Your engulfings are also SNR levels. Why? Because in those engulfings, that's where you see your broken gap, that's where you see your gap levels, that's where you see classic SNR, that's even where you trade your HNS from, right? So I consider engulfings to be SNR level. So you mark the closest H4 and daily that is closest to the current market price. Okay. And when price taps that level on the H4 or on the daily time frame, you go 2 time frame below. So for the daily, 2 time frame below the daily is the H1, 2 time frame below the H4 level is M30. So on 2 time frame below, you want to wait for three things. Note I said three things. Number one, you want to, if it is an H4 support, right? On M30, you want to wait for M30 engulfing buy, right? Because what happens at support is you want to buy. But how do you now trade that level if the support gets filled? So you want to look for M30 engulfing buy, but if you see M30 engulfing sell, you want to continue the sell trend. That means you're expecting the H4 support to fail. Okay. The same thing applies for a daily resistance. So for example, when you mark a daily resistance and price get to that daily resistance, you go 2 time frame below, so you go to H1. Now on the H1, you're expecting three things to happen. Number one, you're expecting that at the resistance, you have H1 engulfing sell to sell. But if price decides to break that resistance, that means you'll be if you get an H1 engulfing buy, you would continue buying from that H1 engulfing buy. Okay. Now the third option for both support and resistance is to look for engulfing fields to trade from. So for example, when you get to your H4 support, like I mentioned earlier, sometimes your M30 engulfing might not form early enough. So you can probably get an M30 engulfing fill to actually trade from. Okay, if it's a daily resistance, your M30, your H1 engulfing sell might not form early enough. So you probably need an H1 engulfing fill to actually trade from. And from your M30, you can equally go to M5, 2 time frame below. And from your H1, you can equally go to M15. All right, guys, let's see examples. Okay, so for example, let's take this guy as an example. So this is, let's use the replay button somehow. Let's come around here. So right here, we know what has happened. So we're not going to pretend as though we don't know what has happened. So, but we have this engulfing, right? Daily resistance, okay? And at the same time, the engulfing coincides with this level, right? So one good thing to do is you can look for MTF 1 time frame below. So MTF on this broker is empty. Rather, we have this level. The closest MTF is this guy, but price then tap. So what do you want to do? Now that means we are currently dealing with a daily level because we did not get it for MTF on this broker. So from daily, where do you want to go to? You want to go to H1. So on H1, what do you seek to find? Remember what I mentioned that you're looking for two things, looking for an engulfing buy, okay? Or you're looking for an engulfing field to trade from. So in this scenario, what do you get? You get your engulfing sell, right? Off of your engulfing sell, what happens? See, you see price didn't tap the engulfing cell, okay? But at the same time, you have an engulfing fill, right? This is an engulfing fill, which would have been very beneficial. So when you want to take this trade, the best idea is to enter off of this engulfing fill, just right here. You stop above that level and you target the next daily level, okay? Because storyline, we believe daily always go to daily. So this trade is a simple and easy trade off of that level. And don't forget that when price gets to a level like this, you're looking for three things. One, you're looking for EG sell, just like we saw right here. Two is if we got an EG buy right here, just like this on this time frame, what it means is that I'm going to be expecting price to come back to this level and trade higher. Okay, that's what it means. Okay, so the third scenario is to trade from the engulfing fill, right? This is an H1 engulfing fill, right? Price broke, so it failed, so price retraced, and then the sell continued. All right, so let's look for H4 levels now. So in the scenario where I mentioned H4, so we have H4 resistance support rather. So this is H4 support. So what time frame would I want to go to? I want to go to M30, right? So from H4, the best time frame to go is M30. So on the M30, I'm expecting two things, not two, three things rather. I'm expecting M30 engulfing to form. Do we have an M30 engulfing right when price stopped? Yes, we do. So this is an engulfing, right? Guys, agree with me, this is an engulfing. So M30 engulfing forms, or you trade off the M30 engulfing fill, which is this candle, right? This is an M30 engulfing fill right here. Okay, that's an M30 engulfing fill. Okay, so those are the two scenarios if we are considering buy continuation. But imagine price got to this level and give you an engulfing sell instead, an M30 engulfing sell. What do you want to do? It means that the level is going to, H4 level is going to get broken. So you'd expect to see something like this. Price comes, taps, comes, taps, and then continues to sell. Okay, but in this scenario, we have buy. So price came off this M30 engulfing. So what do you want to do? You want to enter on the M30 engulfing, you stop below the engulfing, and then you target the next H4 level. And just like we mentioned for the sell is going to be the absolute same thing on the H1. Okay, on the H1, what do you expect to do? You expect to sell right here at this level, because that's the engulfing field. You stop above the engulfing. Oh, so wide of stop, right? But it's better wide than to get taken out. And then you target the next daily level. Where's the next daily level? Probably this level. So who knows? Next H4 level. Yeah, that level. You're right. So descent trades off using a basic standard operating procedure. Highly profitable. Okay, highly profitable. All right. So that's going to be all for this session. If you have any questions, you can drop in the comments. I'm going to answer all of your questions. Do have a good trading week. Thank you.